On 19 May 1884, a yacht by the name of Mignonet started its journey from Southampton, England to Sydney with a crew of 4 people. The captain was Tom Dudley. Then there was a cabin boy by the name of Richard Parker. He was just a 17-year-old boy and was orphaned, didn't had any family. Then there were other 2 members also on the crew by the name of Mr. Stephens and Mr. Brooks. Everything was going fine. However, on 15th of July, when the ship was somewhere 2000 kilometers away from the Cape of Good Hope, the ship got stuck in stormy waters. Captain struggled a lot to save the ship, but ship was doomed to sink. However, with a lot of effort, crewmen and captain, they secured lifeboat. However, lifeboat had limited supplies of water and food. They were able to survive on that canned food for some 5-7 days. However, food ran out of supply. But they were lucky enough, they were able to catch a sea turtle and thrived on the flesh of that sea turtle for next 10-12 more days. It was around 18th or 20th of July. But the biggest problem was not food, it was water. They tried to collect some rainwater but were not much successful in that. Eventually, they have to resort on consuming their own urine for survival. They could not consume the sea water, otherwise they would have turned ill. However, meanwhile, the cabin boy Richard, he consumed the sea water and became severely ill. He entered in coma, the stage of coma, because of consumption of that water. Now, captain and other crew members were desperate for survival, and only option that was visible to them is that someone has to die so that others can consume the flesh of that person and can consume the blood of them. However, no consensus was met on this particular thing. But then the captain suggested that Richard Parker is severely ill and anyway he is going to die. So he offered that we can kill Richard Parker before his natural death, because in that matter we will be able to consume his blood as well. We can kill him and we will be able to survive. In this particular desperation, they decided to go forward with this murder, and captain along with his penknife killed Richard Parker. They survived on his flesh and blood, and eventually they were saved by a German ship which dropped them back to their home, England. Now when they reached back there, an ethical, moral and a legal question opened up. It was that, can these people be held accountable for murder of the cabin boy Richard Parker? Now, captain was pretty confident that they will be able to get pardon under the common custom of seas that was prevalent at that point of time. Now, before that, many such cases have happened. There was a very popular judgment was given by the court in 17th century in Saint Christopher case. In similar case, the crew members have killed one of the fellow member and were able to survive. Now, the judge ruled in this particular matter that the crimes have been washed away under the necessity of circumstances. And giving the reference of this particular judgment, the captain, Tom Dudley, said that necessity can be given as an argument of defense in the case of murder in such circumstance. Now, the judgment was delivered by the jury panel, and jury panel said that no, they cannot be given pardon. They will be held guilty for the charge of murder. Now, they were held guilty on the pretext of ethics and morality. Judges ruled this particular thing that yes, it is a duty to save one's life in the times of crisis, but that is a very simple and a basic and a plain kind of duty. Higher duty is not to look for one's preservation, rather it is to sacrifice one's life for the others. And such kind of duty we can witness in the times of war, where the soldier is not eager to protect his life, rather he is ready to sacrifice his life for the greater good. And judges said that in this situation also, the captain had the responsibility like a soldier, and captain has to ensure that the survival of children, women and other crew members needs to be secured first. And they have not done that particular duty. Instead, they kill a boy. Now, In this particular matter, it was also ruled that when we talk about ethics and morals and the law, there is a difference between ethics and laws. First of all, law, they pertain to minimalist standard. Laws will only be prescribing you the bare minimum conduct that is expected out of you to live a civil life. But ethics, on the other hand, they are based on maximalist principle. They always prescribe the best of the best conduct. They always prescribe as what needs to be ideal conduct, and it is not ideal. So on the ground of ethics, ground of morality, and even on that basis, on the ground of law, they were held guilty. Even German philosopher Immanuel Kant around this time also said this thing, that man should always be treated as an end in itself. Man can never be treated as means to achieve some higher purpose. So here Richard Parker, rather than being treated as end, he was treated as a means for the survival of other people. So therefore, this was an ethical lapse. And thirdly, if we take the reference from Swami Vivekananda's writings, Swami Vivekananda had said this thing, that ethics is not about self. Ethics is about non-self. So, under ethics, one needs to look beyond one's own shallow and petty interest. This is the foundation on which the ethics is based. So guys, that is all about the today's session of Ethically Speaking. Thank you so much, and please write in the comment boxes as what ethical viewpoints you hold in this particular case study. Thank you so much.